Definition of a mid-off. This game had it all. Mediocrity, moments, red cards, controversy. And Alejandro Garnacho did not step on the pitch and still managed to get booed by the whole stadium just for warming up. And then they end up putting George instead of him. My man must be fuming. Maresca has blood on his hands, by the way. Because I've never seen a manager absolutely have a meltdown after a red card. Until I saw Maresca in the 5th minute, he did not know how to react. My man took out 3 players in 20 minutes. 3 players in 20 minutes. So he takes out, okay, so you put in the goalkeeper, you take out Esteval. That was the right decision. That was a sacrifice you had to make. Unfortunate red card. Then you take out Neto. And then you're like, okay, these counterattacks, you're kind of taking speed off. And then you take off your best player in Cole Palmer. And mate, you've lost the plot. And then he's going to come out and say, oh, I took off Cole Palmer because he wasn't 100% fit. My man was fuming when he came off. That is not the, oh, I'm coming off because I'm injured look, or I'm coming off because, I'm not healthy. That is the, why are you taking me off, Matt? I want to play this game. I want to get the 3 points. It's 20 minutes in. I understand there's a red card, but there's no need to break the record for most substitutions in 20 minutes. 3 changes in 20 minutes was absolutely just trying to lose the game. Because genuinely, these substitutions did not help your case at all in this game. I'm sorry, but you got worse after these subs. 20 minutes in, like, mate, Maresca, you have blood on your hands. You did not give Chelsea an opportunity to win. And then, Man United tried their best, their very best to lose this game. Because Casemiro went from scoring the 2-0 to right before half, unnecessary double yellow. Both yellows unnecessary. This man Casemiro running wild. You got Sir Alex Ferguson in the stands with Sam Allardyce, the great Sam Allardyce, right? And you have the audacity to have that kind of performance. You went from hero to zero quick, man. Quicker than, Red Hood in DC Comics. Oh yeah, he's Robin and now boom, he's a vigilante. Straight up, that's exactly how Casemiro ended up going. And it's absolutely diabolical, his performance. And to me, I never understood why the pivot of Casemiro Bruno even exists right now. This is not Casemiro from 2017. This is Casemiro 8 years later. This man is out of his prime with no legs. Bruno Fernandes loves attacking. That's why he's unhappy in the double pivot. So many times when he's making these runs forward, and then he gets frustrated that a bad pass happens. My man's gonna throw a fit and leave Casemiro out to die in the midfield. And Casemiro is not at the age, does not have the legs to be covering 2 positions in the midfield. I'm sorry to tell you, this is not 2017. If this is 2017 Casemiro, I completely understand him being the first name on the sheet. Now Ugarte might be, mediocre when it comes to being on the ball and playing and using common sense when on the ball. But defensively, Ugarte is a headless chicken pressuring and covering ground. So to me, I would rather see Ugarte defensively, in the midfield instead of Casemiro. And then Bruno Fernandes, like I said, he's never fit there. I've always said the best, partnership in the midfield that would keep the most balance for this formation with what they have at the club currently is always going to be Ugarte Mainu. But for some reason, Mainu is Ruben Amorim's number 1 op. It's kind of crazy. But anyways, Man United in the second half, didn't look so great until Cunha came on. I think Cunha is probably the reason why Man United has looked so poor throughout, him being off the field basically, because that's genuinely their best player, Cunha. It's not Bruno Fernandes. It's not, De Ligt. It's not Sesko. It's not Mbeumo. It's none of these. Cunha is the best player, and this team is going to ride or die with Cunha, and Cunha will get them double-digit goals, more than 5 assists, and that's going to be, points. So now that Cunha's back, I think United is going to look a lot better. He really helped manage the game. When he got the ball, he wasn't losing it, unlike other players, but I will say this, Man United didn't look too great. This win really was because Maresca did not want to win this game. The substitution, the changes was just poor. And to the fact that they even went up 2-1, or they even got a goal on the board and going 2-1 when they had absolutely nothing to play for, I'm telling you right now, that's just, you got to be worried about this. And I wouldn't look too much into Man United winning this game because this is probably the worst way you could have won this game. How do you go up in the 5th minute, up 10 men, or up a man, and then you lose that advantage right before halftime, and then the second half you get absolutely dominated to Chelsea's B team, man. You know when that lad George is coming on for Chelsea, you know it's absolutely it's finished. You know you're playing against the B team. It's absolutely crazy. Now, he came out and said that Garnacho was about to come on, but then Fofana had an injury, and then so they put on George, but that really didn't make sense to me because Garnacho and George basically play the same position, so it shouldn't really alter the substitution in my eyes on the winger that you're deciding on, because it's kind of like saying, oh, Arsenal, are going to be playing City tomorrow. Let's say Gabriel gets a red card, and they're like, oh, you know what? I was going to put in what's his face? Mosquera, but I ended up going with Hincapie because it's Gabriel. And it's just like, mate, they play the same position. But anyway, Man United, this is the first time they've won, back-to-back games, since he's taken charge in the Old Trafford. Not back-to-back games, specifically, but back-to-back games at the Old Trafford. So, maybe this is a start for the 5-game winning streak for that lad to finally get a haircut. Possibly. I wouldn't, bank on it. But Ruben Amorim, at the end of the day, you got the 3 points. At the end of the day, that's all that matters. But Man United, this is not really a great performance considering that the other team lost their goalkeeper in the 5th minute. Barely, coming out 2-1. If you really ask Sir Alex Ferguson and Sam Allardyce after, you win up 2-0 and you're playing 11 versus 10 and you told them, oh, it's going to be 2-1, 10v10 at the end, they would be disappointed. This is the most disappointing win that you could really get. But anyways, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. What do you think about the match? Honestly, I just want to know. But anyways, thank you guys for watching.